God spoke in my dream. Ignoring it almost killed me. Part 1. It started with a dream I didn't understand. I used to think dreams were just leftovers from a busy mind. Nothing more than late-night images scrambled from whatever I had seen or felt during the day. I never believed God could actually speak through a dream. Not until one night, when everything changed, and my life nearly ended. I still remember that night so clearly. The house was quiet. My phone was off. I wasn't stressed or emotional. It was just a normal night. I fell asleep quickly. But the dream I had was anything but normal. I found myself walking through an empty field. The sky was dark. There were no stars, no wind, just silence. Then I saw something in the distance, a tall figure, standing still, motionless, watching me. I couldn't see his face, but I knew, somehow, it wasn't human. There was something terrifying about his presence. He raised his hand and pointed behind me. I turned, and there was a massive black door. It was slowly opening, and from inside came this thick, choking smoke and a voice. I didn't hear it with my ears. I felt it inside my bones. It said, "Don't let it in." I woke up, soaked in sweat, heart racing, breathing hard. I sat up, tried to shake it off, tried to convince myself it was just a dream, just my imagination. But deep down, I felt it. That wasn't just my mind making things up. Something had entered my space, and I ignored it. I didn't tell anyone about the dream. I didn't pray. I didn't ask God what it meant. I just brushed it off, because the truth is, I wasn't close to God back then. I had walked away. I was still going to church sometimes, but my heart was far. That's why I didn't take it seriously. And that's exactly why what came next hit me so hard. But I'll get to that right now. I want you to understand something. God speaks, and sometimes he speaks in ways we don't expect. Maybe you've had a strange dream lately, one you can't explain. Tell you how to one that left you feeling unsettled. Don't ignore it, because I did, and it almost cost me everything. I'll tell you what happened next in part 2, but before we go there, if this story has you thinking, if you've ever had a dream you couldn't shake, or if you've ever felt like something was warning you but you didn't listen, leave a comment. Tell me your experience. Like this video, share it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next part. There's more to this than you think, and it's only just beginning. Asterisk, asterisk, part 2. Then strange things started happening. The dream faded, but the feeling didn't. For the next few days, I kept thinking about it. Not in a spiritual way, more like something in my gut was off. Like the air around me had changed, and I couldn't explain why. It started small. I'd walk into a room and forget why I was there. I'd feel like someone was behind me when I knew I was alone. My sleep got worse. I wasn't dreaming anymore. Just blackness, like something was blocking me or watching me. I tried to stay busy, tried to drown out the noise in my head. Music, social media, work. Anything to avoid that sinking feeling. But then it got worse. One night, I woke up at 3:11 a.m. Exactly that time. No noise, no reason. Just woke up, eyes wide open. And I felt heavy. Not physically, spiritually. Like something was pressing into my chest. Like I was being observed. I sat up and looked toward the doorway. And I kid you not, there was a shadow right there, tall, still. Like the figure in the dream, but this time I was awake. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and it was gone. My heart was pounding, but I still tried to explain it away. Maybe I was half asleep. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe it was just stress. But I knew I wasn't stressed. Not like that. Something was off. That same week, a friend texted me out of nowhere. We hadn't spoken in months. She said, "Hey, I know this sounds random, but are you okay? I had a weird dream about you." I froze. I called her immediately, asked her what she saw. She said, "You were walking into this black tunnel, and I was yelling at you to stop, but you didn't hear me. It was like you were asleep." I didn't tell her about my dream. I couldn't even speak. All I could think was, is God trying to warn me again? But I still didn't fully listen. I brushed it off, told her I was fine, just tired. The truth is, I was scared. Scared to admit that maybe I had opened a door. Scared to face the fact that the dream was real, and that I had ignored it. That week, everything began to spiral. I lost my appetite. I couldn't focus. I kept feeling dizzy at random moments. And that presence, the one from the dream, I felt it more and more in the corner of my eye, in the silence of my room, in the moments right before I fell asleep. And every night I woke up at exactly 3:11 a.m. Over and over, like a countdown had started, and time was running out. Still, I didn't tell anyone. Still, I didn't pray. And looking back, now that silence was the most dangerous thing I ever chose. But the breaking point, the moment where everything shattered that came next. And I need you to hear what happened, because what I experienced might be what you're feeling right now without even knowing it. Part 3 is where it gets real. And if you think this was intense, you haven't heard the half of it. If this story is hitting something deep inside you, don't scroll away. Comment below if you've ever had a moment like this. Share this with someone who's been having strange dreams. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming in part 3, because God is still speaking. But are we listening? Part 3. Then came the night that changed everything. I didn't plan to stay up late. I wasn't trying to look for anything spiritual. I was just tired, mentally, emotionally, physically. But that night something was different. The air felt colder, like a pressure was building in the room, and I could feel it deep in my chest. I laid in bed, eyes closed, trying to fall asleep, but I kept hearing this soft whisper. Not outside, inside it. Didn't have words, just sound like static mixed with breath, faint but constant. I turned over, pulled the covers up, tried to ignore it. Then suddenly, I couldn't move. My eyes were open, but my body was frozen. It was like I was paralyzed, held down by something I couldn't see. And then I saw Etat, the foot of my bed, the same black figure from the dream. Tall, shadowed, motionless, staring this time. There was no distance, no safety. It was in my room, in my space, and I was wide awake. Wanted to scream, to cry, to pray, but I couldn't speak. My lips wouldn't move. My throat was locked. I could only think in my mind. I whispered Jesus over and over. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And then, just for a moment, the figure twitched it, tilted its head, like it heard me, and I heard the same voice from my dream. But this time, it wasn't warning me, it was accusing me, you were told. The second I heard those words, my body broke free. I jumped out of bed, fell to my knees, and cried like I never cried before. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to pray, but I said his name over and over again. Jesus, save me, Jesus. I'm sorry, Jesus. Please help me. The room felt heavy, like something didn't want to leave, but it had no choice. It left slowly, like smoke being pulled out by force, and I sat there shaking, crying, and realizing that dream, that warning, it was really was under attack spiritually, and I had ignored the only protection I had. God had spoken not once, but twice, and I almost didn't survive the second time. That night didn't just shake me, it broke something off of me. It exposed how far I had drifted, and how much mercy I had been shown. But I didn't understand the full picture yet. I didn't realize how deep the damage went, or how a simple object in my house was the open door that gave this darkness access. That's what I'll tell you in part 4, and trust me, you're not going to believe what I found. This isn't just a story, it's a warning. If you've ever felt frozen at night, if you've ever woken up and felt watched, if you've ever had a dream that won't let you go, don't ignore it. Drop a comment, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and make sure you're subscribed, because part 4 reveals the truth behind the darkness that almost took me out. God warned me, and now I'm warning you. Part 4. I thought it was just a dream. I didn't know it was a door. After that night, I couldn't pretend any more. God had warned me twice, and I had barely escaped with my life. I knew I had to change. I knew I had to clean my house, spiritually, physically, completely. So the next morning, I got up and started going through everything. I didn't even know what I was looking for, but something inside me said there's a door still open. That's when I found it. Buried at the back of a drawer was an old box, small, black, with a strange symbol on the leady. Had completely forgotten it was even there. A friend gave it to me years ago. Back when I was messing with stuff I had no business touching: crystals, tarot, energy, cleansing, all the things I thought were just spiritual tools, but now I knew they were gateways. When I opened the box, the air in the room shifted heavy, thick, like something invisible had just woken up inside. Was a chain with a pendant carved with the same symbol I saw in my dream. The one on the black dorm. My chest tightened, and I heard it again, that voice, faint, like a whisper from inside the box. You let me in. I dropped it instantly and backed away. Realized then that item, that symbol, it was a legal right in the spirit realm. I had unknowingly invited something into my home, and even worse, into my soul. It wasn't just a dream, it was a warning about a door I had opened without even realizing it. And the craziest part, I had walked past that drawer for years, never knowing that darkness was sitting inches from my bed. Every single night, fell to my knees trembling. I grabbed my Bible, and I finally said, God, I'm ready. Show me what to burn. Show me what to break. Show me how to shut this door forever. For the next few hours, I went room to room, throwing things out, breaking objects I once thought were harmless, even deleting playlists, unfollowing accounts, erasing anything that connected me to what I now knew was spiritual poison. And as I did, something shifted. The air became lighter, my mind became clearer, and for the first time in months I slept through the night. No interruption. 3 a.m. Wake up, no shadows, just peace. But here's the twist that broke me, Latour. That week the friend who gave me the box messaged Mesh, said, hey, just checking on you. I had another dream. There was a fire in your house, but you were standing outside it, watching it burn, crying, but free. I asked her, did you remember what the fire was burning? She said no, just that whatever it was, it didn't belong there. She had no idea what I had done, no clue. I had just destroyed the object she gave me. No way of knowing that she, someone I trusted, had unknowingly handed me the door to my own torment. That was the twist. I thought the attack came out of nowhere, but it started the day I accepted something spiritual. That wasn't from God, let me say this. Not everything spiritual is holy. Not every dream is random. And not every friend is sent by God. The devil is subtle. He doesn't need your permission, just your silence. And for too long, I had been silent, but not anymore. Part 5 is where I tell you how God rescued me, how He closed the door, and how you can do the same, because if He can pull me out, He can do it for you. To have you ever brought something into your life you thought was harmless, but later realized it wasn't? Drop a comment below, tag a friend who needs to clean their spiritual house, and don't forget to subscribe. You do not want to miss the final part, because this ends where it all began, in the presence of a God who still speaks through dreams, and still rescues those who listen. ***, Part 5. He spoke once. I won't ignore him. Agnafter. I burned the box after I threw it all away, after I cut every tie I had to that darkness. I sat in the middle of my room, surrounded by silence. Not a heavy silence, not the kind that used to make my chest tighten, but a new kind, a holy kind. For the first time in what felt like years, I felt peace. No voices, no shadows, no fear. The presence of God, quiet, still, strong. And that's when I realized He had never stopped speaking. I had just stopped listening. All those dreams, all those signs, all those gentle warnings, He was reaching for me. Even when I was walking away from Him, I looked back and saw every moment where He could have let me die, but He didn't. Every night I ignored the dream, He still stayed near. Every time I opened a door, He kept sending people to call me back. That's grace. I didn't earn it. I didn't deserve it, but He gave me dreams. He gave me time, and when I finally turned around, He gave me freedom, total, complete, unshakable freedom. And now, I don't dream in fear. I dream in revelation. He still speaks in the night, in the quiet, in ways only the Spirit can understand. You've had dreams that won't let go. if you've felt something pressing on your chest in the night, if you've seen things move in the shadows when no one else was home, you are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are being called. God is speaking, and the longer you ignore him, the louder the warning becomes. But here's the good news: you don't need a priest. You don't need a ritual. You just need one word. Jesus, call on him. Cry out, tell him you're ready. Tell him you want every door closed, every chain broken, every lie exposed, and he will come because he came for me, not when I was holy, but when I was haunted. And if he came for me, he will come for you. If this series spoke to your spirit, don't just scroll away. Comment below. What part hit you the hardest? Share this story with someone who needs to wake up to the spiritual war around them. And subscribe, because this may be the end of this story, but it's the beginning of yours. God is still speaking. The only question is, will you listen?